Now, what do you say about the almighty opium that hasn't been said before? I guess we'll find out. Hello, Shomano. Today I'm reviewing a massive perfume. Huge, massive, hugely famous, hugely strong and brash and crazy, I think. And yeah, it's a massive one. It's probably one of the most well-known fragrances in the world, which is always fun to do a review of something like that. It is, of course, YvesSaintLaurent's Opium, originally released in 1977, another one of those fragrances that has stood the test of time. It's gone through lots of variations, I think, as well, in terms of the bottle especially. I've seen tons of different bottle designs of this, some really elegant and detailed and expensive exclusive ones. Of course, the original clear bottle, and then the new one. I'm reviewing the Eau de Parfum version that was relaunched in 2009. So, of course, it's definitely gone through a change since the original. The original was, and is still, massive. That's the only word I can think when I think of this perfume. In every sense of the word, it's massive. Maybe not the bottle size, but, you know. So, yeah, it's an Oriental. I think it's probably the epitome of an Oriental fragrance. This is not for the faint-hearted, and yeah, I'll kind of try and tell you as much as I can about it and what my thoughts are. So many people have said so many things, but here's my 2 pennies worth anyway. I hope you appreciate them. I did say in my recent video I did of everything I've purchased in 2016, this was the last thing that I placed on the table in the video, and I did say at the time, this is the one that's got me a bit nervous to wear. I've only worn it the last 3 days for the first time ever out of the house. And it's, you know, very good reason for it to make me nervous. It's a beast, basically. And the name suggests something a little bit daring, I think. Opium, you know, it comes from poppies. It's also a drug, well, opiates are a drug. It's just intriguing, and you know, the opium dens of Shanghai and things like that. So the name's intriguing enough, and it really just delivers everything you think it's going to be. I'm glad it's still around. They don't make perfumes like this anymore. So first of all, I'll go through the notes with you. As always, when I research perfumes before I review them, I look at the notes. I find different things all over. You can't always find the exact notes, and of course perfumers keep their secrets. They're not going to give you their entire note formulation just for you to snatch yourself and try and make. But I took my notes directly from Yves Saint Laurent's website, so I'll tell you what they are. They were quite surprising to me, actually. I'm not going to lie. I thought that there would be kind of a different top note section thing. But anyway, the top notes are bergamot, surprisingly enough, mandarin, surprisingly enough, and then aldehydes. So you would imagine that it's got a quite citrusy opening. Not the case at all, so just basically ignore that. It's just for your information. The heart notes are jasmine, carnation and rose, and then the base is vanilla and myrrh. In particular, it's a popinax, which is a sweet myrrh. So while myrrh is kind of brash and it's very resinous and quite hard to take in, it's quite medicinal, a popinax is a sweetened myrrh. It's a lot more pleasant, I think, to smell, and it's really the core and main centre of this fragrance. So I'll show you the box of it. I'm not going to do the close-up thing today because I have my light on me today and I can show you it like this. So this is the new box. My friend Sarah at work, who I need to mention, is the person that made me buy this, actually, because she, her fellow perfumista by the way, she wears the Eau de Toilette version of the newer formulation, and I really liked it. I thought it was gorgeous, actually. It's a lot spicier than this. This one seems to be a lot more smoothed out and rounded. But anyway, back to the box. So it's got these reedy kind of things on it, and yeah, it's an Eau de Parfum. Mine's the 100ml version. The bottle, I think, is absolutely lovely. I'm sure you've probably seen it before. I don't want to teach you to suck eggs. But yeah, I really love it. It's so nice. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a squashed bamboo. You know, bamboo has those ridges all the way down. If you squashed bamboo and then turned it brown, that's what this bottle would be. This is all about the Orient. The notes in it are supposed to be reflective of that. I personally think it's probably a little bit more Middle Eastern smelling than Oriental in terms of the place. So yeah, it's lovely anyway. It's got that little window so you can say hi. And yeah, it sprays out quite a bit considering the strength. So let me spray it on my hand. And while I'm letting it dry, I'll just tell you a few little things. This fragrance is one of those fragrances that there's only a couple that do it to me, and I'm really, really aware that I've got it on. It's a no-nonsense, doesn't mess about, dramatic fragrance that can really fill a room. It is one of those ones that can probably choke people if you overspray it, and I really have to rein myself in when I wear this, because I usually like to just lavish myself with fragrance. I think it's a luxury, it's beautiful, it's why I do this channel in the entire first place. But this one, I really do have to be aware of it. I'm constantly aware that I've got it on when I'm wearing it. The only other fragrance that does that to me is Lulu by Cacharel. You put it on and you're immediately surrounded by a cloud of resins, spices, just pure dramatic exoticness. It's one of a kind, and I can safely say that this must be a crowd divider. I reckon there are people out there that this makes them sick, because it can go to a cloying stage. It's beautiful though. It's my friend Sarah at work today, because her husband loves this on her. He said to her, if this was made in the cave, the Stone Age, I would bash you over the head with the club if you were wearing it and drag you back to the cave. So, sexy, I guess, yes. But what does it smell like when you first put it on? Definitely not anything citrusy. This is all about the really deep, voluptuous, opulent kind of notes. It is, even though it was made in the 70s, it does have that kind of feel, but it stood the test of time and it still gets worn today. Absolutely stunning. It's just really, really good. Oh my god, it's so good. But again, it's a little bit scary. So as far as I know, you know, the original was much more spicy. It had a very prominent spicy tone to it, and it had some more very pronounced spices in it. This one really only has carnation that is probably classed as something spicy, I would say. Of course it's a flower, but it does have a spicy smell to it. This is really all about the myrrh. It's the solid centre of the fragrance, and everything else kind of just dances around it. It's thick and heavy, and when you put it on, it's just immediate. It's just there straight away. The sillage is deafening, if that can be even a thing. It's so strong that you can't hear yourself anymore. It's just so loud that you can't hear yourself anymore. That's a better way to put it, I think. It really throws itself off of your skin, and it's just one you have to be really, really careful with. But the way I can best describe it is a very, very sweet resin. It's lovely. It smells hugely exotic, from somewhere, you know, far away that you've never visited if you're from a little old place like England, like I am. And you just want to inhale it. It's one of those ones you want to just keep huffing your wrist, or your hand in this case. And as it develops, it can verge on being cloying. As I said, it's got sweet myrrh in it, and vanilla in the base. So while it's dramatic and spicy and all of these exotic things, the main thing that washes over is this sweet myrrh and vanilla. So it just smells like rich lady, I think. There's not many words I can think of to describe it, many more than that. This is hella lasting power. When I went to work, I've been wearing it for the last 2 or 3 days. I've been putting one spray on the back of my neck, and the guy that gives me a lift to work actually opened his car window today in winter. So I'm guessing it might have been this, and that's just from one spray. I have reapplied it a few times, but it's totally unnecessary. I think it's one of those gorgeous ones where you can just do that and it does its job. It's fantastic. I believe that, like I said, the original one was a lot spicier. This one, the spices seem to be a lot more toned down, if there are spices in it. And aldehydes normally give a fragrance a bit of lift, a bit of soapiness, a bit of cleanliness, depending on the aldehyde. And this doesn't have anything clean about it whatsoever. It's a deep, dark, brown, syrupy kind of myrrh, and it's just gorgeous. Anyway, I get at least 10 hours out of this, and that's on a bad day, I would say. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. I hope I did it justice. It's a toughie, because it's so popular. I'm Akshay Minogue. Click my logo to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon for another review. Goodbye! Can you see me winking? Maybe. Anyway, speak to you soon. Bye.